Well, welcome back to Get Down to Business. I'm thrilled to be joined by Kira Wissman, who is a dynamic, dedicated operational and finance leader offering 20 plus years of experience in both the private and public sectors. Her leadership style is collaborative and compassionate, and she brings an array of excellent technical skills with a practical application to the table. Through years of experience in a variety of settings and industries, she possesses a very well-rounded view of the business world, and I'm absolutely excited to welcome Kira to the program here on Get Down to Business. So Kira, I always love to get to know the person behind the microphone. That's quite an impressive resume and background that you have over here. Why did you become so passionate about taking care of employees and people in today's rough and tumble business world?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it comes from going through some tough jobs as I was coming out of college and starting my career in accounting, and realizing that managerial style really made a difference in what you could get out of people. And, I had some bad managers that taught me some tough lessons, and I kind of decided, almost left the accounting field, but decided to kind of flip the script. I went, got a psychology degree, and really became passionate about advocating for employees, motivating people, knowing their strengths and weaknesses so we could get the best out of them, and making sure that each person is in the right seat within the organization to maximize the organization's success and that individual person's success.
That's wild. So that's awesome. And obviously that's led to your role now as the CFO and the controller at KWC CPAs. Again, as we said a moment ago, bringing over 20 years of expertise in the private and public sector. So that's great. It's always awesome, especially I come from a family of accountants, and seeing that focus on obviously being able to read the balance sheet, but also, again, read the people in the room as well. So I want to talk about the people side of things first, and then we'll get into a little bit of the accounting nuances, which is certainly important at this time of year. But I'm sure you've done many personality assessments, both on yourself as well as on some of your employees. What type of leadership style works the best, Kira?
Really being collaborative. You're talking to people in real talk, not talking down to people, and maintaining a level of respect as a manager. It's very important not to be too friendly with your staff, but getting to know each person to some extent is important, and allowing them to understand that it is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to ask as many questions as it possibly can to get the job done, to get the answer right, and not making people feel bad. You don't want anybody to come into work every day afraid and scared to do their job because they're afraid of how they phrase something might not be how their manager would phrase something. So I really work hard to bridge that gap and understand where individuals are coming from.
Absolutely, and your line of work, that's so important because your clients certainly rely on the talent behind the scenes to make sure that they're keeping them straight and ready to go, especially in this busy time of year. So I want to dive into that a little bit. It's an important time of year. This is the time when everybody's starting to freak out a little bit. They're starting to get those shoe boxes ready for their accountant. I mean, believe it or not, as we air this show, we're going to be going into Q4 of 2023, which means it's almost the beginning of tax season. So, Kira, why is a qualified accounting professional critical to the success of small businesses like those tuning into this program?
All too often, a small business doesn't want to take the time or necessarily spend the money to pay a professional to sort through their financial shoebox, as you said. And it is important because a small business has a razor sharp margin in most cases, and they need to know where they stand. They need to know what is an asset versus what is an expense. What do they have? What is what they're spending more than what they're making? Why might that be? How can we take a look at your revenue stream? We can give you ideas on how to increase that, how to make goals, how to meet those goals. And as an individual, you're often more worried about just running your business the day to day, and you're not going to sit down at night and comb through all your receipts, understand where they go. You might not have the expertise to know where they go. Because you know how to run your business doesn't necessarily mean you know how to put together a set of financial statements and understand how to read them. And that's where we come in. And that the expense is definitely worth the value add there, especially in the early days. You get yourself off on the right financial foot, and you are a long way towards running a very successful business.
No question about it. So if there's one takeaway that I have from our conversation so far with Kira Wissman is that, it takes all types, but certainly, again, we talked a little bit about the people side of things, that collaborative approach. And collaboration is important, especially when it comes to, again, taking care of your finances. You don't need to do it all on your own. There's some great software that's out there as well, great accounting software that's available. And so, Kira, I know you've become somewhat of an expert on this topic, but what types of accounting software works best for different types of businesses?
Sure, QuickBooks and desktop QuickBooks Online is pretty much the standard these days for most businesses, unless you have some very specific issues that require something like desktop. But those are like kind of the gold standard for small business. They're easy to use, easy to understand. A business owner or an operator can get in there and look around, and it's presented in a very plain language sort of way. As your business grows, as your reporting needs grow, especially if you're in an inventory heavy business or a purchase order intense business, you're going to want to kind of step up and take a look at a product like Sage Intact that is accounting on steroids. Still a mid-level size accounting package, kind of an out of the box type of accounting package that is you customize from the ground up. It's less expensive than a custom build, but it gets you some really detailed reporting. You can kind of slice and dice your data as many different ways as you want to get kind of the insights you might need on really granular information inside your business. So those are the two software packages that we currently work with. There are others out there. There is a software package called Zero that I think is even a little bit more basic and user friendly than QuickBooks for those who are just starting out. And QuickBooks and Zero the price points are very affordable for just about anybody. And so, starting out with an accounting package is important. You don't really want to start out with a bunch of spreadsheets and or even paper ledgers or anything like that. So it's not as expensive as you might think. And as your business grows, there are many software packages that can grow with you.
Absolutely. So, on to a really important topic, especially again this time of year, is business owners that often sometimes commingle funds. It's sometimes hard to keep track of all of their expenses, receipts, and so on. So, Kira, why should business owners keep their receipts and identify personal versus business expenses?
This is the number one issue we run into with small businesses who are approaching us for help. And if you take a step back and you look at it, if you are working as an employee in a job, you're not commingling your salary with your business's expenses. So why would you want to do that with a business that you own? You want to know what your business is making, what your business is spending. If you're just using your personal credit card and you are now mixing your grocery expenses, your medical expenses, your business expenses, you're going to have a really difficult time because no one's going to remember at the end of a month or end of a quarter or whenever you're going back and reviewing this information what is business, what is personal. So it is just much easier to separate the two at the start. Treat your business as a completely separate entity from your personal life, just like you would if you were an employee somewhere, and you pay yourself out of the business. So you can pay yourself a salary, you can take the distributions to pay your personal expenses, and that way that it's much easier to track. And come tax time, come financial reporting time, you're going to be in much better shape, and you won't be risking putting personal expenses in a business, which the IRS does not like.
Absolutely. So we're running out of time, and I have time for one more question, and that's the importance of a balance sheet. And, so often business owners are told that a balance sheet's important. But Kira, how does one learn to actually read it?
You ask a professional. A balance sheet is pretty easy to understand if you look at the big picture. It is simply a snapshot in time of what you have, what your business has, cash, assets, fixed assets, your computers, your chairs, your furniture, whatever that might be, what you owe, your credit card bills, any loans you've taken out, any bills you owe for materials you buy to run your business at any point in time. And the net of those two, the assets minus the liabilities, is hopefully positive. And that is your value of your business on that point in time. So understanding that balance sheet, it tells you how much your business is worth and really gives you an idea of, okay, I have $100,000 in assets, and I have
Yeah.
$300,000 in liabilities. we might need to take a look at, and see where we're
Absolutely.
going.
Well, Kira, that's great. I've learned so much from you. I want to make sure our listeners can get in touch with you and your amazing team. How can we do that?
You can find us on our website at www.kwccpa.com. You can reach out to my email, which is kira.wissman@kwccpa.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn and you can reach out that way.
Fantastic. Kira Wissman, thank you so much for sharing your expertise on people, accounting, an important conversation, an important time of year. I can't wait to have you back on real soon. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.